All right, that's very simple. But uh, good day to all, no one out there. My name is Quazzar, and welcome to the Beginner's Guide. This is a game, a narrative game made by, I think it's the same creator that created the Stanley Parable. This is a game that came out way later than the Stanley Parable, but it's about someone who's struggling with something they don't understand, which I'm guessing is something like pressure or expectations or something, but well, one way to find out.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment.
Yeah.
But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since.
Oh.
And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him.
Okay. Right, so it's a collection of the games that his friend made, and we're gonna look through it because he believes they're good.
To maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveyWreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
I thought I fell into the crates because it just turned black all of a sudden. What is this? I'm too tall for the door. Well, technically. Well then. Oh, I can shoot. Whisper machine status
active. This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Right. Okay, I'm supposed to go this way. I mean, this looks interesting. I can't get through here. Damn it. So it's a space game, basically. A shoot 'em up. Yeah, generic. Right.
Hostile alien life forms inbound.
What? No thanks.
It kind of looks like this game was abandoned mid-development.
Yes,
For
I can
instance,
see that.
you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately, we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin shooting.
Oh, I'm out of bullets. Damn it. He's right. I can't reload.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Oh yeah. Okay. Right. Supposed to go here. Yeah. Okay. Can I go this way or no? Okay. Just making sure. Is this a maze? Oh no. Okay.
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Skip me on past. I wanted to find my way through. Although mazes are one of the annoying parts of games, but I still wanted to find my way through.
This is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Right. I'm gonna lower my sensitivity. There we go. Much better.
Hey, you there?
No.
In the engine room.
No.
You could save us all.
I don't wanna.
That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If you...
me?
Your body could stop the beam.
Yeah, okay. So let me walk into it.
But for all of our lives.
Just open the door.
Could you do it?
No.
Could you give yourself?
No. Oh, well, okay. Whee!
Let me pause here for a second.
You just died.
What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Right. Okay. So where I died, actually, that's where you modified it. But this is what's actually happening. I go upwards?
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Okay. Right, so this is another game. I cannot move. Oh, I can move backwards.
In this game, you can only walk backwards.
What? The past must be... am I supposed to... No. Oh. Good. Sure, okay. What?
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Why does the future keep changing? What the fuck? Okay. When she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. I have to walk backwards, really? Can I go into third person then? But the future is always behind her. Okay. How will she find the strength? I have no idea. Hello? To confront it.
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
And I see nothing. Hello? Oh, is that the point? That's not the correct way. I can't move anywhere else. You are now entering. Entering what? Alright. It's a gravel path towards, what, a town?
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet.
What?
Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Fine. I'll be patient. For now.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games.
What?
He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Excuse me, am I going slower?
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
No, I can make it up like this. Just gotta jump from time to time. Hold on, I got this. Almost there. Like I'm not cheating. Like I'm not using your hack. Oh my god, this is slow as a crawl. Fucking hell. I see what you mean by the speed. Floating eyes, emitting footsteps, noise, series of lavish. I'm not reading any of that. Press U to surrender. That didn't work.
That's warm and nice.
I'm still slow.
Filled with little ideas for games.
Stand on an X, staring at a bear for 3
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant.
A stranger
he said
appears.
That he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
You are a gate. No, I'm pretty sure I'm a person, and... Hello. Oh. I got stuck on the door. This one looks... better. I mean, it looks better, but that doesn't mean it's gonna be better. Oh, hello.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Sure. Do I lock myself in? Hey! I was correct!
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
I thought it was... I didn't think this was gonna happen. I thought if I turned off, the lever off down there, it would close this one but open this one. But no, it's just... I mean, it's a prototype game. I understand that. But just...
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again, so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Do I have to? Fine. Oh, hello. Whoa. That is a lot of stuff.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing.
Yeah?
I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea.
What?
So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world.
Oh,
Either
good
way,
God.
I think that the point is the same, is that most of the don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
There is no music volume button, so I wanted to lower the music, but no. Hello? You're now entering. You are now exiting.
So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Right. I thought it was gonna be the same thing, but no, it doesn't say entering, it's exiting. The great and lovely descent. Just a house? I'm going down a slope. Okay, so it's not a small house, it's...
Let's talk about video game development for a second.
Oh, that takes a long time.
Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do.
True.
So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
It's the life of the game, basically.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
Aha!
The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making.
Fine.
You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Okay. Before I said like the engine is the life of the game. No, the engine is the brain of the game, but the coding is the life of the game. The coding is also what dictates the engine to give a certain degree of control in your games. Like when it comes to the graphics of the game, do not focus on that directly. What comes first is how your game, what your game is, then your story, then your performance in the game, and then you work on the models, and then it comes to the textures and like the looks of the game. Is there any fall damage? Like, can I just jump down here? Aha! No! I missed. Hello. Okay, any more, like, commentary? Any more narrative? What am I supposed to do? Just walk forwards? No, I wanted to walk forwards. I wanted... Fuck. Well, okay. That is not how cement works. Supposed to walk this way? Oh, I'm supposed to go in here.
This prison,
excuse me,
in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
For a full well, okay, if you are the creator to the Stanley Parable, like you said in the start, you made people like play that baby game for 4 hours. So I don't feel any sympathy.
He and I used to argue
if that's what he wants.
Whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Right. Right, so he was struggling with committing to the idea, like commitments. Is that what you're trying to say here? Commitment and expectations? Is that what he's struggling with? Well,
it's the puzzle again, with the
yes.
exact same solution as the last time.
Haha.
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
You should really have something that I can turn down the fucking music, because I can't in the options. I can barely hear you over it. Oh no. Why do you make me so mad, huh? Hello? I'll just Can I hide? No. Hello? Did you come from up above?
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue
What was up
system
there?
that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
There were these floating colored blocks. Yes. That's the world above you've seen there. Now this is important. Did you have to get through the puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. That was literally the last thing I did before coming here. Yes. Again, perfect. Now please, tell us how you solved it. Tell us the solution. Now, tell us how you get to the other side. I didn't... Trust me, you don't want to go over there. I don't remember how I solved it. I'm trying to remember, but I can't. I didn't solve it. Someone else let me in. None of these are correct. Can I just walk away instead? Trust me, you don't want to go over. One. You must think harder, please. Try hard to remember. It is so important that we get out of here. We must escape this prison. Can you think harder? There must be something more. Please tell us how to reach the end. I don't know how... Am I supposed to go out? I don't know. I'm just gonna leave. Oh, it closed on me. No I don't... Fine. What am I gonna have to answer? Hello, how did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? Yes. Do you want to know how to solve it? No. We actually find the black space between the doors to be far more interesting. Have you seen it? Actually, now that you mention it, I don't recall this, but feeling strange as I passed through it. Number 2. Don't think too hard about it. You'll see it again soon. Fucking expositions. See it again soon? Am I gonna have to repeat this section as well? Oh, what is this?
It's a lamppost.
Oh,
okay, I can't tell you quite.
Okay. I did something I should have done at the start of the fucking video, but I turned on the subtitles.
Why? But for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out.
It's lamp.
I'll tell you what I think.
Lamp.
I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination. which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination.
Right, like an endpoint.
We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them.
Nice.
And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
That's a good thing to do. Like, put an endpoint to your games. Like, what do you want it to be? Like, what do you want it to turn out? That's technically what you need to understand before you start making the story of the game. What do you want it to convey? What do you want it to end on? How do you want it to progress? And then you make the story. Hello. What was this? Nice room. Nat.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but
this
game
game
is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by
Point
Coda.
to this.
This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up.
Woo.
I saw him working on this very level.
I thought it was going to fall.
Just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention.
Hello.
I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played. But it's ironic, isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much. It's because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
Right. So, yeah, technically it is easier. It is technically easier to know someone through their work, because that's when they put all of their like ideas and recognition into what they believe in. Just listening to someone, that takes like way longer. Like both of those ways can work, but getting to know someone through their work is just a lot easier and a lot more connecting than just to see, like, have a little talk with them. Although, don't get me wrong, some people need talking to, and that's something you need to like recognize, but still, knowing someone through their work can help you, especially if you want to do the same work that they do. Stop, turn back. Proceeding further will only result in misery. I'm already miserable. Take my hand, let's jump together. I actually want to try jumping. I want to see what's down there. It's probably just empty void, but still. Cabbage shapes our nation. No, it does not. Painting, what does it mean? Whoever made this has issues. I mean, it looks pretty good though. Help, I am trying to speak. You can't speak. Because I'm just gonna continue. That's a good painting, but still, it's... I like this area. Like, it looks so complete in a sense, but so unfinished.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it.
I hear whispers.
The puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, He understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Does this puzzle have a solution? Yes, it does. We're gonna have to be a little for an hour. Help. Help. This doesn't make sense. The second door won't open. Should I solve it? Developer answer me. I hear whispers in my eye. In my eye. I can see the whispers. Now. Okay. So it's a game. We're probably gonna go through a lot of different games. This one feels a lot more complete to the person that, like, to Coda, the guy is talking about. Having a repeating puzzle, it means you're fixated on it. Don't dwell too much on one subject. You're gonna be obsessed with it, and well, you're not gonna proceed any further. But I'm gonna end it here because, well, I like this. I like this. If it is what he's saying and he's showing away the games that his friend made, well deserved, well done. Like, that's something good to do, but you should still, like, if you're ever gonna do that to a friend, tell them that you actually did it. Like, yeah. Anyways, this has been Quazzar signing out, and I'll see y'all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.